Hello and welcome to Waupun Pioneer News. This is Jaden Buckles here, and I'm with Mayor Ron Bishop. We are going to be talking about his first year in office. Today is the 19th of
19th,
April, which is the 1 year anniversary of him being sworn in back in 2022. So I'm going to be speaking with Ron just to have a little recap of what he's done this year. And what else might be going on for the next year. So, Mayor Bishop, why don't you give us a little recap of what's been going on in Waupun this last year and what you've done, what you've accomplished as the mayor.
It's hard to believe it's been a year already. That went fast. Being the mayor is a very busy job. It's the busiest part-time job I think you can probably have. But by and large, it's been a really rewarding experience. It can be challenging at times. There's sleepless nights and sometimes it can get stressful. You get used to getting criticized, but for the most part, it's really good. And I really enjoyed the year in there and some of the accomplishments we made, and just keep plugging along going into year two, hoping to build on what we did in year one and doing everything we can to just keep promoting Waupun.
Absolutely. So one of the bigger issues that we had, one of the issues that you were very adamant about when you first ran for alderman and then ran for mayor was about the city branding. That was a big accomplishment to get the wayfinding signs with the end of the trail and the other statues on them. Will you be supporting that in the future? Will you be trying to get the city logo changed back to the end of the trail or something else more representative of Waupun than this more abstract corn crop logo?
Yeah, I don't get too worked up exactly what the official city logo is or what's necessarily on different letterheads around here. And for certain branding and economic development issues, I understand the other logo. When it comes to branding Waupun, though, and promoting Waupun, I do think it's important we be the city of sculpture or Wisconsin Sculpture City and really promote that. I mean, like you heard me say a million times during the debate last summer, there's a few things that make Waupun super unique, and we have the 3 prisons, and we're next to the Horicon Marsh. But we've also got the 7 outdoor bronze Shaler sculptures, and each sculpture tells a unique story. But all the sculptures together tell the story of Mr. Shaler, his incredible legacy and gifts to Waupun. They tell the story of the history of Waupun, and it's just something that's real special and unique to Waupun. And I think we should go with it and roll with it, and it's who we are and it's our heritage, and I think it's really cool. And I kind of sense a momentum in the community for it. Like, people talk to me about it. A couple things. Like, the Historical Society has kicked off a couple of weeks ago a Shaler exhibit. And I know they're working hard to track down some more of the smaller Shaler sculptures that are out there that some of his descendants, have. I think that's really cool. I've been working with the former mayor, Kyle Clark, and then Sue Hafmeyer from Waupun Fine Arts. We're going to have a centennial rededication ceremony for the Recording Angel sculpture in October because the Recording Angel was the first sculpture Mr. Shaler purchased and then brought it to Waupun for the gravesite of his wife in the Forest Mound Cemetery up on the hill. And I think that's going to be a really neat ceremony. We had a meeting about it this morning. The agenda's coming together. We're going to have the color guard and the pledge and the national anthem. And they've got letters out to the schools, both schools in Waupun, for kids to write poems about what the sculptures mean to them or mean to Waupun. And then we'll have one specifically for the Recording Angel and what it means to people. I'll talk about not just that sculpture, but all the sculptures and what it means to Waupun. And then I think it's going to be a pretty well-attended event, weather permitting. And then that same weekend, the Waupun, I was going to call them the Pioneer Players. The Waupun Players Group, who do their play every October upstairs in the auditorium, they're doing this year's play themed on the Recording Angel sculpture and a kidnapping threat to the Shaler grandkid from the 1930s. And I don't know that whole story. I've seen the newspaper articles that Janine showed me, and it's kind of neat and exciting. I think it's going to be a live radio play, but I don't know that for sure. I got to talk to Chuck or one of the guys over there. But I think the play is going to be well attended, and I think that's a neat idea to tie into it. And then Tyler Schultz was saying the downtown businesses want to do a beer walk that Friday night, so it's going to be a whole weekend of stuff going on in Waupun because of the sculpture rededication ceremony, and I think it's cool. I'm glad we're doing it. It was the first sculpture. The next one would be 2029. That would be the centennial of the end of the trail sculpture coming.
What kind of goals are you going to be doing for the next year? You have until, or when is your re-election, or the next time you're up for election?
April.
April.
This 24.
Okay, so this next
year from now. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't remind me. That's right. It's here already.
Yep. So in the next year, what kind of goals do you have?
To finish the stuff we've been working on the first year. I still the things I like about this job and I've been trying to do is promote Waupun every chance I can get, whether it's our Waupun utilities and the great water I talk about all the time. But one of the things I've been doing is touring different manufacturers and businesses in Waupun. And then I use social media, and a lot of times I begin to post with "Did you know?" and we start with a fun fact about the business. And one of the I've done National Rivet, Eagle Publishing, King Manufacturing, the Waupun Prison, and others. And one of the things that comes up is I'll talk about something and people they didn't know that was happening. A great example is after we toured King Manufacturing, we did a "Did you know?" and I wrote about how they make all of the gas station canopies you see, or almost all of them, especially if it says Quick Trip on it. And I had people comment, we drive by that thing on 26th every day and never knew what they did there. So that kind of stuff I like doing, and I like promoting Waupun and what happens here. Another fun one was when I toured Rust-Oleum. We did a "Did you know?" all of the paint used on the Mackinac Bay Bridge that connects the UP and Lower Michigan, all the paint's made here in Waupun. Same for the George Washington Bridge in New York. I think that's kind of cool. And did you know that if you've got a Weber grill at home, the rivet on top of it, that the thing can slide for the smoke, that rivet are made here at National Rivet in Waupun. So I think these are neat things. I like promoting it. Even the prison tour, people are like, "Why'd you tour the prison?" Well, it's here, it's got a lot of history, and I wanted to learn. But a lot of people don't realize every single license plate in this state is made at Waupun Correctional.
Oh, really?
No other prison in Wisconsin makes the license plates, and they're made here by state statute. The state law says they have to make the prison or the license plates here in the prison. Each prison has their own thing. Other prisons make other things, but vehicle license plates are made here. And up on my shelf, I've got a ceremonial license plate from a couple of years ago when Waupun Correctional celebrated its 170th anniversary. So I learned a lot on the tour, and that was special because what goes on that side of the wall is kind of anonymous because we're separated with a wall, and I think a lot of us just take for granted the good work that goes on. And it was neat to see all the correctional officers, and I met a lot of them, and just the professionalism with some of the difficult stuff they do, and I thought it was phenomenal, and I really enjoyed the tour. So that stuff I love. Things we haven't accomplished yet that I want to keep working on. We have a child care issue, right? There's not enough daycare space.
Yep.
Now, this isn't unique to Waupun. It's happening everywhere. And Waupun is involved with a working group in Fond du Lac County and a group in Dodge County to try to tackle this. And it seems like every time we take a step forward, we take 4 steps backwards. And that has kept me up at night. And my kids got out of daycare just over a year ago. So I understand and I feel for families that don't have anywhere to go. It puts you in a box. I get the costs are going up, and now you're paying for days when you don't use it, but the daycares need to pay their staff, and there's the worker shortage, and inflation is real, and wages are going up, and it's a problem everywhere. And it's a weird issue because it's an issue that the free market, it just doesn't work, right? Normally the market figures it out, and this one, it just doesn't. You need so many teachers per number of kiddos, and they're heavily regulated, so there's a lot of cost and overhead to running a daycare. But I have been very aggressive, and to their credit, the city council has pretty much fully supported me from whether it's been ARPA funding or trying to buy the old Shrine Clinic and even just give it away to someone wanting to run a daycare and invest in it. Like, the city council understands the daycare shortage means that you have a worker shortage, and it's an important issue for the community to have quality childcare. So we may not succeed, and I've been asked if I want to just drop it as an issue, but it's too important. So even if we keep coming up short, we're going to keep working at it because people need help, and we got to do everything we can. So that's probably, I don't know if it's my biggest disappointment, but it's a frustration I have because I don't know, I really want to help people, and I understand why it's such a challenging issue, and there's only so much we can do, but we'll do anything we can. So that's been on the kind of the disappointing side. You know, the positive stuff, you mentioned the sculpture and the branding and the promoting Waupun, I like all of that. I'm working with a guy, I think May 20th, but that's not in stone. We're gonna do a Rock River cleanup. I want people to bring garbage bags on a Saturday morning and make a section of the Rock River and wear shoes that can get wet and walk up and down and pick up some garbage and clean it up so it looks nice for the summer season. We're being aggressive on one of the code enforcements with all of the dead ash trees, but especially those along the river, because when these trees are falling in the river, they're making it a non-navigable waterway. And I get calls when that happens because since COVID, like when things were locked down, a lot of people bought kayaks, canoes and stuff. Recreation on the river's way up, and I think that's fantastic. It's kind of a little hidden asset in Waupun that maybe I don't want to say we forgot it was here, we just kind of took it for granted. And then when you couldn't do anything else, it became a thing, and it's still a thing, and I think that's great. I love the river, I like to fish in it, I even occasionally catch a fish. My kids seem to have better luck than I do, but it's a fun thing, it's good to have here, and we want to be good environmental stewards of it, so I think that's cool. And you know, the boardwalk and the walkways, we want to try to get that connected to the Wild Goose Trail somehow, and you know, there's a lot going on in Waupun. The business park's growing, the United Co-op project's happening, the all-phase grand opening's coming up, that building is up and ready. I can't say too much yet, but there's a couple of lots out there on that part of Shaler Drive that we have businesses interested in, so you're gonna see more development, and hopefully we can keep working that through the property we annex into the city and get Shaler Drive connected. That's obviously not going as fast as I'd like, but I keep, you know, my foot on the pedal on that. The city purchased the house on Highway 26 that wasn't in the city. We had the house moved, we annexed in the land. We're working on higher density housing like apartments there. The flood home trailer court area, they want to expand another block or two, and we have the housing shortage, and we're trying to gobble up other pieces of land for more housing, townhouses. We'd like to do the townhouse condo thing and get older people to want to downsize into that, to get some more houses for sale for families who are starting. So there's a lot going on. It's a busy little city. I don't know if people realize this, but we have a super busy downtown. You know, 13,000 cars a day go through Waupun. 18,000 go by on 151. So I get that message out there. You're looking to open up a small little business and you want traffic, I got a city for you. So yeah, I like to say Waupun's got it going on, and we live here, so maybe we don't see it, but other cities are appreciative of what's going on. One of the reasons we have the housing shortage is people want to live here. And I don't blame them. I want to live here too. It's a great little city, friendly people, best drinking water in the state. We're about to have the most high-tech wastewater plant in the country. Seventh safest city. It's clean, it's safe, it's got parks and schools and a lot of churches. It's a great little city, and I think people really love Waupun, and you're seeing that.
Absolutely. And so one thing I wanted to go back on, the senior center project. You met with the secretary for was it administration?
Department of Administration Secretary.
For the state of Wisconsin last week. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
That was cool. So if people aren't aware, like the Department of Administration Secretary usually is like the governor's top cabinet appointment. And the neighborhood grant for the $5 million to build a new senior community center came from that department. So she came here to get an update on where we're at. We showed her the plans and what it's going to be and what we're going to use it for, how we want it to be a senior center and a community center, a place where people of all ages can use it, especially in the winter months when it's too cold to do stuff outside, right? You can't go for a walk, everything's covered in snow, ice, it's dark, it's blowing, miserable. So we want a place, like we have a community center, but the reality is in the wintertime it's being used by hockey and figure skating. So this will have a full-size gym, it's going to have the pickleball courts, spaces people can rent and use, and we're hoping it gives like people my age and your age something to do in the winter. and it can be used in the seniors all day and the community in the evening. And then we toured the existing senior center. She saw how it's overcrowded and bursting at the seams. We went on yoga day, and there were 30 some seniors doing yoga, and it's a popular place, and it's a quality of life issue, and we want to take care of our seniors, and I'm really excited about it. So that groundbreaking, as far as I know, is August or September, and we'll be moving into that thing hopefully sometime next year.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I had to ask you about. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just love being the mayor, and I do want to, we have the employee appreciation dinner coming up, and I think we take for granted the good people who work for the city of Waupun. Sometimes so much so, I think sometimes they feel unappreciated, and I just want city employees to know I think they do a very nice job in all the different departments and public works. They have a lot to do with an ever shrinking staff, it seems, and there's always more streets to clean and to maintain and to patch and to plow and to salt and parks to mow, and they do such a good job. I think it goes unnoticed, and one of the things I'm going to try to work on is not just promoting businesses that are here, but the good city services we offer and why it's important to support those who work for us, and just kind of give them a thank you.
Absolutely. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me. This is very good conversation. People really like to hear from you, and especially straight from you.
Well, sorry I coughed a few times. Allergy season's going on.
Oh, yeah. No, I
It's
understand.
not fun.
Yep. But yeah, and we some of the most liked posts on the Waupun Pioneer are the mayor's columns, and people really like hearing from you. They really like you being mayor. So just want to let you know that's.
Well, that's good. The mayor's column is an important way to get the word out to what's going on, and I'm really glad you publish it, because the Action Advertiser, they gave it up about 3 weeks into my tenure.
Yep,
we knew it was
last
coming.
May, yeah.
I think I wrote 2 or 3 that got published, and then that went away.
Yep.
All print media is going away. And then when you started, and what's cool is you put it on the Facebook page, not just the website. And I've noticed I'll check your page at like 10 in the morning on a Saturday, and people are reading them. So when I travel around the city, people thank me for writing it and keeping them informed. And if people have an issue they want me to talk about, they can send me an email at mayor@cityofwaupun.org, because sometimes I don't maybe know what people are interested in, and I'm always happy to answer questions. And another thing people can do, Jaden, is on the 3rd Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. I go to the senior center and give an update, do a question and answer for about an hour. And it's not just open to seniors, anyone, and I know it's 1 o'clock on a Tuesday and people are working.
Yep.
But if people want to pop in, I know sometimes you come in and take pictures, but yeah, it's open to anyone. I'm trying to be an open and accessible mayor, and people see me around town, and trying to do what we can and keep the information flowing. It's hard with all the different media that's out there, but I do the mayor's column. I talk to you as much as I can. I'm on Greg Stenson's radio show almost once a week. So yeah, I do what I can to let people know what's going on.
Absolutely. So thanks again for taking time to talk to me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you.